Okay, guys. So we're back again for this week. We'll talk about my toy pickups. I had a few things come in this week. I guess, but before we get into that, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the fans' hobby, Skyhawk, and just third-party vehicles in general. I'm really big on this, but the only problem I see with actually having third-party vehicles is the fact that they're not as big as Hasbro, which means that these things are going to be super expensive, and people were already complaining about how much Hasbro vehicles cost, and the toys themselves. I think people are kind of getting out of hand with that. Is that uh, they're too expensive for people right now. So if we get third-party vehicles, which I think will probably give us more features than what actually Hasbro will do, but they're going to be priced the same price as a freaking HasLab. So for all the people that are complaining about HasLabs and they're too pricey and they don't need all this stuff and reduce all the extra bells and whistles, third party's going to give us all the bells and whistles to kind of basically say that's what you're paying for. Because like with the Skyhawk, that thing's going to be at least 200 bucks. I mean, Fans Hobby does like third-party Transformers. Those things aren't cheap. And this is going to be in a 112 size. So that thing's going to be super expensive. And you're going to look at it and you're like, oh, I might as well just buy a HasLab. And yeah, you probably should. But I like the fact that there are other options out there. So, because I don't know how long it's going to take Hasbro to come around and do a Skyhawk. Ramen Toys is doing their modular tank thing, the MBT, which is a bridge layer and a Wolverine and Mauler. It's like everything that you can make all of the different tanks out of one, or order three different versions of it. I guess that's how they are pushing it. But that thing's gonna be near 200 bucks. It is a tank though. But anyway, that thing's gonna be near 200 bucks. But I don't know when Hasbro's gonna do a bridge layer or a Wolverine or a Mauler. Hey, Robin's even doing Dios, but I like it that there's more options to get these things a little faster, and I can kind of build out my collection vehicle-wise, as opposed to waiting years for Hasbro to get around to it. I mean, we're still waiting on the Thunder Tank, we're still waiting on the Rattler, we're still waiting to see if they're going to do a 112 size Sky Striker. I mean, there's a bunch of things that are kind of still in the wind, and Hasbro hasn't really given us the information to tell us when those things are really coming, because they like to keep everything close, so that way I guess they don't disappoint us. But those are my thoughts really on the third-party vehicles. Let's get to this week's toy hauls. So one of the things I picked up, and I was kind of on the fence with it. I wasn't sure I was actually going to get it because I don't really buy statues, and this thing is definitely a statue. And it's the Chadwick Boseman kind of tribute piece that they did in Spawn. So I'm a big Spawn fan. So I love damn near everything that comes out with Spawn. I've been trying to cut back. I mean, I collected all the stuff in like the 90s and the early 2000s. All those quasi-action figures that were really statues with like minor articulation. But this thing is really, really cool. It's going to sit on my desk and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to smile every time that I see it, because I was a big Chadwick Boseman fan as with Black Panther. And this kind of meshes two things that I really love. And like I said last week, I bought a Black Panther helmet, so why wouldn't I get this? All right. Other thing that I got this week, speaking of statues, the Juggernaut from Diamond Select. This thing does have articulation, but it's a fucking statue. I mean, the legs move, the arms move, the head turns, but I mean, it's not dynamic articulation, and that's what I'm kind of used to with smaller figures. But this thing is a fucking beast. This is what I want to represent my Juggernaut in my collection, is something this big and powerful and this size. The one that Marvel currently has out, to me seems undersized for what I expect Juggernaut. Juggernaut's like 9 feet tall. Like, they have one, and if you're looking at 112 size, that one's maybe 7 inches, 7.5 inches. That makes he 7.5 feet tall. It's like, that's not what I want my Juggernaut to be. Or maybe 8 inches. This damn thing is 9 inches tall. Ladies. So this is exactly what I want out of my Juggernaut. So he will sit there. I will get him as much of a dynamic pose as I can possibly get him in, and I'll have some good battles with Wolverine and Spider-Man against Juggernaut. Other things that I got this week, I'm only gonna... Ooh, Juggernaut just fell over. Yeah. Man, standing better. Articulation. I got in the New Age Seekers. I have a big Legends collection. So this was the only thing that was missing for me. Kind of, sort of, because I was waiting for Magic Square to redo their Seekers. I didn't want to buy the New Age ones. Because sometimes the New Age doesn't always, the older molds don't always fit in scale with Magic Square. So I just kind of broke down. I was like, I wanted Seekers. I found them for a good price. And I figured I was like, let me go ahead and get them. So I actually got Starscream. I got my Skywarp and my Thundercracker. So I'm going to transform. I literally just got them in yesterday. I haven't even transformed them yet. I've been flying around like stuff like I'm a kid. I'm a big idiot. So one of the funny things about this thing is that I got horrible shipping. Like, so I got the box in, and that's great. But actually, this is a New Age. This is a Deformation Space. But it works either way. When I got it in, this thing was crumpled. Like, they were kicking this box. All I can think is the Jim Carrey, from the Jim Carrey meme, or a clip from Pet Detective, where he's like kicking the boxes around and during delivery, and like handled with care. And man, they did me bad on this. But either way, I'm gonna add them to my collection. If you guys have seen in like the little tour videos, I have a collection of Legends Transformers. It's gonna go added into that with the rest of my Decepticons, and I'm gonna keep fleshing out my Transformers collections. But that's all I got for this week as far as my toy pickups. Next week I'll show you. I got some other stuff that is actually coming in. I'm really excited for. When it comes in, I'll open it up and I'll send it to you. I'll show it to you guys. One thing I did miss out on last week was that I did get the Snake Eyes Timber 2-pack found at Ross. I did pick that up, and I just forgot to get it because I have so many Snake Eyes right now, and I guess it just got lost in the shuffle. But I'll show you guys what I get next week, whether it comes in from mailers or stuff that I pick up in Ross. Make sure you see the shorts videos that I put up for my toy hunts, and kind of show you what I'm finding out at Ross and Ollie's. So that way, if you're also out there toy hunting, you can kind of see exactly what might be to be expected when you go out there. I'm expecting to go out there one of these weeks and find nothing, but hopefully not. I'm still looking for more G.I. Joes. All right, you guys take care.